husband and wife were right here on the couch when all of this crashed.
If something happened to the Stilt, they wouldn't have this much drift towards the house.
If we have weight on the tip, then this piece cannot swing into the house.
Yeah.
The guy was actually sitting right here on the couch.
We were watching TV. We were watching Yellowstone.
The whipping action of falling across the roof broke the top out, of course. What is Adam doing? Oh, he wants on the roof. We got the hydraulic ladder option. Probably bring the crane right in here on plywood. It's kind of squishy. If the soil wasn't squishy, the wind probably wouldn't have pushed it over. It's not usually fir trees that we see tipped over around here. It's always pine, ponderosa pine, and black oak. When I was working in Washington, dug fir every winter. Trees on homes every winter. If you would have been standing here when it tipped over, you'd have been whacked by old busted top. I always try to show on jobs like this that damage was here before we got here. See where this has been cracked and they've tried to repair it. And our outrigger is not on the sidewalk. These are old brakes. And we'll be set up on the sidewalk here, but we're gonna take steps to make sure that there's not a inordinate pressure on the sidewalk. We're gonna also snowshoe onto the lawn. The couch, they moved it a little bit. The couch was over there just a little bit. They kind of pulled it back. But their couch was like right under it. As a matter of fact, this stuff landed on him.
Yeah, I don't even remember it, so it was like it didn't weigh anything. And
it actually does weigh. I mean, it's covered in drywall. At some point, we want to see this tree stand up. I think it's doubtful that it will stand up after our first pick, because our first pick is along the ridge line. We might see it just slightly lift.
All right, YouTube, we're about to do our first pick here. We're good for quite a bit. I'll go ahead and set you guys up in here. All right, YouTube, so I thought I'd show you one cool thing. I'm cutting through on this side, but you can see I'm holding on this side. We have the tension with a slight offset so that we'll be able to get a little bit of movement and make it more predictable of, you know, how things are moving and shifting with the cut and the binds. So I'm leaving the wood on the far side and I'm cutting here, but as I'm cutting here and relieving into this shelf cut, see? So we don't want this butt dropping down into the roof. So there's a strong shelf here and we'll be meeting up with this cut on the other side last. But as I'm cutting and relieving here, this spot here is actually splitting from all the binding pressure. There'd be a massive bottom bind. So if you were to cut into the bottom of it, you'd be getting pinched pretty quick. YouTube, as I'm finishing off this cut, pay attention to this section and maybe we'll see this split moving a bit. or opening up. Try and get you guys a closer view of that. Maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't. All right, YouTube, that was pretty smooth. We had a little bit of shift in the butt, probably due to the branch weight wanting to settle down, or maybe just a tad bit too much tension on the butt line of the piece. So this is what I was trying to show you guys earlier, is as I was cutting, it was wanting to split there at first, came down, it started splitting there again, and then as I got down further this side, it was wanting to split up right there. So, and this is the shelf I was talking about for people that aren't familiar with this, is that when the piece comes off, if it's not balanced right, it could drop down and cause damage to this side of the roof. We want to keep all this stuff intact. We want to do this job with no further damage, so this shelf allows you to sit here and let the piece come off pretty in a predictable manner.
All of this is that insulation from the attic. It's one of those ceiling heat concepts that was like the dumbest idea in the world. Somebody thought of getting the ceiling so hot with copper wire or whatever that is, that the heat would have to come down if it got hot enough.
All right, YouTube, we've always, as you've heard, called this thing a shelf cut, but from here on out, we could call it the sofa cut, because this is a comfortable seat. A little bit of moss and it would be complete.
Missed the china cabinet. I think I'll give you guys the house view as Damien cuts this next piece. Our next pick is going to be a piece of that. And because sometimes these things can stand up when you cut weight off of them, I mean, we kind of don't think it's going to stand up this quite this soon, but if it did stand up and it was tugging the crane, you know, that would be bad. So what we're probably going to do is we're going to start making a cut. This is the damaged part of the roof, and we're going to start making a cut and see how the tree is moving. We want to see if it's doing this. So if it starts doing this, then we're gonna probably not want to hook onto it until the piece we're picking is completely separate from the stem that's moving. So just got to think it through.
So as I'm cutting it, we're only seeing action in the tip settling, and we're not seeing the main stem attached to the root ball starting to pick up. So we don't really have any movement on that side. I'm sure we will have a little more, but we're gonna go ahead and hook it up so that the slings are already in there, and then we'll lift it. Actually, that's pretty better than I thought it was going to be once it started. Okay, start picking it up a little bit and see what it looks like. Let me see if I can. It's bound up against the butt a little bit. Go ahead and pick it up more. No, because that'll shred all the limbs through the roof. I'm really thinking about cutting one piece of the limb. Okay, go ahead and start lifting it up a little bit. Okay, hold on. Yeah, you should be. Kind of wiggling it out of there. Well, the low. Go ahead and take it up a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, you're completely free. Just go ahead and boom up. All right, YouTube. There it is. Second piece out. Peace out, YouTube. Alright guys, what do you predict for this next piece? We've got the deck right underneath it. We'll have to figure out exactly how hard it is settled and where. Yeah.
When they don't stand up, you go into stilt mode, where you support it from underneath. I'll show you.
They have a logging tape.
How about that dead tree?
August is taking it into his own hands to cut down the customer's little dead tree. He just figures it's free reign since it's dead. Hey August, you want to cut down the other one while you're at it? So what he's doing right now is they cut down a little small tree, and he's using it as a measuring stick so that when he cuts this other log right there that's in the skid steer grapple, we know it's the right length. Oh, you want YouTube? Sure.
I'm talking about that dead
What's up,
truck.
YouTube? Bird dogging, overseeing, sight watching.
Our son was in our bedroom, which is a really good thing. Mom's maternal instincts kicked in.
Yeah, the wind was blowing hard, and I said, "Nah, let's have him sleep with us tonight."
Wow.
So he,
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why we had gotten up early too, just not a good night of sleep. And so we were out here and the dogs. So we knew our son was okay, but we didn't know if the dogs were okay. And so we kind of were pulling debris out and diving through it. And
So here's what that looks like. Little shelf cut in there, kind of jammed it in there. And some people might say, well, that needs to be a cross stick, you know, like this. But not when you got that broad of a foot on the stump. If it was just a log, or if it was just loose in the soil like a post, you know, then yeah, you'd want a cross stick brace here, but one is sufficient when the root wad is attached like that.
Sorry it's not huge, YouTube. If you want us to keep these videos coming, then we gotta keep, you know, the crane on all fours.
Oh.
August is disappointed right now, YouTube. I didn't know he was walking back here, but I didn't have enough sling, and he knew it the second he saw it. Okay. So what I was gonna do, attach it on this side, and it'll probably pick it up like this.
Yeah.
Do I look cool right now, the way I'm doing this?
Dude, never been cooler. Never.
Cooler than?
Cooler than, I don't know, ice cream or ice cubes or glaciers. What do you want?
It's official, I'm cooler than glaciers.
Cut out out here a little bit.
Okay. Part of me was thinking closer, that way if something happened to the stilt, it wouldn't have this much drift towards the house.
If we have weight on the tip, then this piece cannot swing into the house.
Yeah. Here it goes. We got this piece cut, hanging from the crane, and our root plate's picking this thing back up.
Here, I'm gonna help it. Come on.
This is YouTube gold right here.
It's moving.
It's gonna start moving more. Right? Oh, that's so cool. All right.
Nice job, Damien.
That was awesome.
All right, now we'll lift that out.
All right, there it is, YouTube. You saw it with your own eyes. You probably think this stuff's edited like August, you know, craned it back up and then shot a video later saying it stood up on its own. But you can't fake that right there. You just can't. Especially when you hear the excitement in our voices. Oh. Okay, I'm watching. Just go ahead and cable straight up. Yeah. Yep. Okay, you could start booming up a little bit, but you might, yeah. I think you'll clear it. Yeah. Oh, are you hooked on it right now? There you go.
Didn't know if the dogs were okay. And so we kind of were pulling debris out and diving through it and didn't hear anything. And long story short, he had ran into the bedroom. So luckily our dogs were okay.
So he was probably in there and he was wondering why you didn't follow him.
Yeah.
Yes, very probably so.
Probably so.
Yes.
Yeah, he might have seen movement out the window, you know, who knows?
Yeah,
We
we're
thought
lucky to be here.
maybe their ears, because they have better senses than we do.
Yeah.
We knew something was coming.
So the remainder of the tree definitely leans at the deck, but I can hinge it and drop it over this direction. And because it's on a hill and it might roll, which I think it'll probably settle, but if it doesn't, I got the skid steer waiting here to keep it from rolling any further.
August is falling. Put it over here on this wood.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was awesome. Nice job, August. All right, there it is, YouTube.
That was
cool watching it move because it did not want to go that way.
No.
There's the finished product, and I have a flying lesson to run off to. So they're about done though. This area over here is the leach field, so that's why we bridged it. And we're going easy on this area. And then you guys got covered in this stuff. What even is this? It's not fiberglass, is
Blow-in
it?
insulation. It looks like it's cotton to me. They used cotton a long time ago, and maybe cotton, but it's definitely a nasty insulation. We were dry heaving. My wife has mentioned that today, that when it first happened, we were.
Yeah, you were in a cloud of it.
Yep.
That would be horrible.
Yeah, our son thought when I opened the door, he thought there was a fire because there was.
Did he wake up?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because I was screaming for the
Ah.
dog.
Yeah, I think he heard it too.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys are okay. And now it's off of there and a new chapter can start.
We're glad it's off too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. We had a blast because it's like a little Rubik's Cube. It's like a little puzzle to solve.
Yeah.
To get it off of there and not cause the crane to tip by getting more weight than its capacity is rated for. Also to not do any further damage. Anyway, thanks for the tour.
Absolutely. Thank you for a wonderful job.
Catch some good landings, please.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread, with every word that I've said.